Chapter 1. From Childhood to Adulthood. Once upon a time in the small, lively town of Rahim Yar Khan in Pakistan, a little girl named Muniba Mazari was born. Her family was a traditional one, and they loved her very much. Muniba was a happy child, filled with dreams and hopes just like any other kid. She loved to laugh, play, and explore her world. Muniba's childhood was ordinary but full of love. She loved to draw and paint. Even as a small child, she would often be found with a paintbrush in hand, a rainbow of colours before her. She would draw pictures of the beautiful landscapes she saw around her and the people she loved. Her family saw her talent and encouraged her, but they never thought that one day this would become an important part of her life. At school, Muniba was a bright student. She loved to learn new things and was always curious. She liked to read books and was good at studies. She had a group of friends, and they would often be seen laughing and playing in the schoolyard. She was a normal girl with dreams of a beautiful future. As she grew up, Muniba started to understand more about the world around her. She noticed the beauty of her homeland, but also its problems. She saw that many women in her society did not have the same opportunities as men. This made her sad, but it also made her strong. She promised herself that she would stand up for what was right and would work hard to achieve her dreams. One of these dreams was to become an artist. Muniba loved to paint. She loved the way colours could tell a story. She dreamed of having her own art gallery one day. She wanted to show her art to the world and make people happy with her paintings. But life in Pakistan was not easy, especially for a girl with big dreams. There were many traditions and rules that girls and women had to follow. One of these traditions was arranged marriage. When Muniba was only 18 years old, her family arranged her marriage. She was young and scared, but she respected her family and agreed to the marriage. This was the beginning of a new chapter in Muniba's life. Despite the challenges, Muniba did not give up on her dreams. She continued to paint and hoped that one day she would be able to share her art with the world. She believed in herself and her abilities, and this gave her the strength to keep going. Little did she know that her life was about to change in a way she could never have imagined. This is the story of a girl from Pakistan who dreamed big and dared to follow her dreams. This is the story of Muniba Mazari, a girl who would grow up to inspire millions of people around the world with her courage, resilience, and unbreakable spirit. In the traditional society of Pakistan, arranged marriages were common. Parents would choose a spouse for their children, often at a very young age. When Muniba was only 18 years old, her parents told her they had found a suitable match for her. This was a man she hardly knew, yet she was expected to spend the rest of her life with him. Muniba respected her parents and their traditions. She understood that this was how things worked in her culture, but deep down she was scared. She was still young and had many dreams. She wanted to paint, to study, to explore the world. But now she was getting married. The wedding was a big event. There were many guests, lots of food, music, and dancing. Everyone seemed happy, but Muniba felt a mix of emotions. She was happy because she was following her culture's traditions and making her family proud. But she was also anxious about what the future would hold. After the wedding, Muniba moved in with her husband. Her life changed dramatically. She was now a wife with new responsibilities and expectations. She had to cook, clean, and take care of the house. She had to adapt to her new family's ways and expectations. It was a difficult transition. Muniba missed her family, her friends, and her old life. She missed having the time to paint and express herself. But she tried her best to be a good wife. She tried to keep her dreams alive in her heart, even as she couldn't pursue them openly. The biggest challenge came when Muniba realized that her marriage was not a happy one. She and her husband were very different people with different dreams and expectations. They often disagreed and argued. This was hard for Muniba, who had always believed in love, respect, and understanding. Despite these challenges, Muniba did not lose hope. She believed that things could get better. She believed in her dreams and her ability to achieve them. She continued to paint when she could, pouring her feelings into her art. This was a tough period in Muniba's life, but it also made her stronger. She learned to stand up for herself, to fight for her dreams, and to never give up, no matter how hard things got. These lessons would prove to be invaluable in the years to come, as Muniba faced even greater challenges and became an inspiration to people all over the world. 2 years after Muniba's marriage, her life took an unexpected and tragic turn. She and her husband were travelling by car when they were involved in a terrible accident. The car rolled over and Muniba was left severely injured. She was rushed to the hospital, her body broken and in pain. The doctors worked hard to save her, but the damage was severe. When Muniba woke up, she was told the heartbreaking news. She had suffered spinal injuries and would not be able to walk again. She was now a paraplegic. The news was devastating. Muniba was only 20 years old, and her life had changed forever. At first, Muniba couldn't believe it. She was in shock and denial. She couldn't accept that she would never walk again, that she would have to spend the rest of her life in a wheelchair. She was scared, confused, and full of questions. Why had this happened to her? What would her life be like now? Would she still be able to pursue her dreams? But as the reality of her situation sank in, Muniba also started to feel a strange sense of determination. She realized that while she could not change what had happened, she could choose how to react. She could choose to give up, or she could choose to fight. And Muniba Mazari was not a quitter. It was not easy. There were many dark days and nights filled with tears and pain. There were moments when Muniba felt like giving up. But each time she reminded herself of her dreams and her determination to live her life to the fullest. She started to paint again, using her art as a way to express her feelings and cope with her situation. She painted with bold colours and strong lines, creating powerful images that reflected her inner strength and resilience. Her art became a symbol of her fight, her determination, and her refusal to give up. This was a tragic and difficult time in Muniba's life, but it was also a turning point. It was the time when she realized that she was stronger than she had ever known. It was the time when she decided to turn her tragedy into strength, her pain into power. It was the time when she truly started to become Muniba Mazari, the woman who would inspire millions with her courage, resilience, and unbreakable spirit. Chapter 2. The Darkest Hour. Muniba's world had turned upside down. The accident left her paralyzed, confined to a wheelchair, and the physical pain was immense. But it wasn't just the physical pain that was difficult to bear. The emotional pain was just as hard, if not harder. The bright, carefree world she had known seemed to have disappeared overnight. In the hospital, the days were long and the nights were even longer. She was surrounded by white walls, medical equipment, and the constant smell of antiseptic. The cheerful chatter of her family during visiting hours was a brief respite, but it was also a painful reminder of the life she had lost. Physically, Muniba had to adjust to her new reality. Simple tasks that she had taken for granted before, like getting dressed or moving around, now became enormous challenges. Every movement was a struggle. The frustration of not being able to do things on her own was overwhelming. Emotionally, Muniba grappled with feelings of despair and hopelessness. She wondered if she would ever be able to live a fulfilling life again. Would she be able to paint? Could she still dream of having an art gallery one day? These questions kept her awake at night, haunting her thoughts. But Muniba was not one to give up easily. She knew she had two choices, to surrender to her situation or to fight it. She chose to fight. Even in her darkest hours, she clung on to hope. She told herself that this was not the end of her life, but a new beginning. She began her physical therapy with determination. It was hard, and there were many times when she wanted to give up. But every time she fell, she picked herself back up. She worked tirelessly to regain as much independence as she could. Emotionally, she turned to her first love, painting. Even though it was difficult, she began to paint again. Her art became a way for her to express her feelings, a form of therapy. Through her paintings, she was able to pour out her pain, her fears, her hopes, and her dreams. Despite the struggles and the pain, Muniba chose to keep going. She chose to fight. She chose to live. This was the beginning of her journey of resilience, a journey that would inspire countless people around the world. In the midst of her physical and emotional struggles, Muniba found a lifeline in something she had always loved, art. The hospital room was bleak and sterile, a stark contrast to the vibrant world she used to paint. But it was in this room that Muniba found her passion for painting rekindled. At first, it was not easy. Her hands were not as steady as before, and the pain sometimes made it hard to focus. But every time she picked up the paintbrush, she felt a sense of peace wash over her. The act of painting allowed her to escape from her reality, even if it was just for a while. Muniba began to paint her feelings, her fears, her hopes, and her dreams. Her canvas became a window to her soul, a silent storyteller. Her art became a form of therapy, a way to cope with her situation. She painted scenes of her homeland, Pakistan, remembering the beauty she had seen as a child. She painted women, strong and resilient, a reflection of her own spirit. She painted her pain, not to dwell on it, but to confront it and to heal. Every stroke of the brush, every splash of colour, was an act of defiance against her circumstances. It was her way of saying, I am still here, I am still alive, I still have dreams. As she painted, Muniba found a renewed sense of purpose. Her art gave her hope. It gave her a reason to keep going, to keep fighting, to keep living. It reminded her of the dreams she had before the accident, dreams that she now realized were still possible. Art became her refuge, her lifeline, her form of expression. Even though she was confined to a hospital bed, her art allowed her to explore the world, to express herself, to tell her story. It allowed her to dream and to hope. This was the power of art, the power of expression. It was through painting that Muniba found a way to heal, to grow, and to rediscover herself. Despite her physical limitations, her spirit was free, soaring high on the wings of creativity and resilience. This was the journey of Muniba Mazari, a journey of courage, resilience, and unbreakable spirit. And it was just beginning. As Muniba spent her days in the hospital, painting and going through physical therapy, she had a lot of time to think. She thought about her past, her present, and her future. She reflected on her dreams, her hopes, and her fears. And it was during one of these moments of introspection that Muniba made a decision that would define the rest of her life. She decided that she would not let her disability define her. She would not let her circumstances dictate her future. She would not let her dreams die. She decided that she would fight. Muniba realized that she had a choice. She could choose to see herself as a victim, to feel sorry for herself, to let her disability limit her. Or she could choose to see herself as a survivor, as a fighter, as a woman with dreams and the will to achieve them. She chose the latter. She chose to see her wheelchair not as a symbol of her limitations, but as a symbol of her freedom. She chose to see her disability not as a barrier, but as a challenge to overcome. She chose to see her life not as a tragedy, but as a journey of resilience and courage. Muniba decided to live her life to the fullest. She decided to pursue her dreams, no matter how impossible they seemed. She decided to use her voice and her art to inspire others, to show them that it is possible to overcome challenges, to live a fulfilling life, to dream big. This decision was not easy. It required courage, determination, and a lot of hard work. But Muniba was ready. She was ready to fight, to strive, to dream, to live. And so, with a paintbrush in her hand and a dream in her heart, Muniba began her journey. A journey of resilience, of courage, of determination. A journey of turning tragedy into strength, of turning pain into power. A journey of becoming Muniba Mazari, the Iron Lady of Pakistan, an inspiration to millions around the world. This was the power of decision, the power of choice. Muniba chose to fight, to live, to dream. And this choice made all the difference. It was the beginning of a new chapter in her life, a chapter full of hope, courage, and resilience. Chapter 3: Rising Above. Following her decision to live life to the fullest, Muniba began to explore how she could pursue her love for painting more seriously. She knew that her art had been a lifeline during her darkest hours in the hospital. She had used it to express her feelings, her struggles, and her hopes. Now she wanted to share her art with the world, to show others the power of resilience and the beauty of the human spirit. With the support of her family, Muniba transformed a room in her home into a studio. This was her sanctuary, a place where she could be free, where she could express herself without any restrictions. Here, surrounded by her paints and brushes, she felt at peace. Muniba's painting style evolved during this period. Her art became more vibrant, more powerful. She began to use bold colours and strong lines, creating images that mirrored her own strength and determination. Her paintings were a reflection of her journey, her struggles, and her triumphs. Each painting told a story. Some were stories of pain and struggle. Others were stories of hope and resilience. But all of them were honest, raw, and deeply personal. Through her art, Muniba was able to communicate her experiences, her emotions, and her dreams. Her paintings became a visual diary, a testament to her journey of resilience and her unwavering spirit. Muniba started to exhibit her artwork in local galleries. The response was overwhelming. People were moved by her story, by her courage, and by her talent. Her artwork began to gain recognition, not just for its aesthetic beauty, but also for its emotional depth and its powerful message. More importantly, her art began to inspire others. People who were facing their own struggles saw in Muniba's art a reflection of their own experiences. They saw that it was possible to overcome challenges, to rise above circumstances, and to live a fulfilling life. Muniba's art became a beacon of hope for many, a source of strength and inspiration. As Muniba painted, she realized that she was not just creating art, she was also creating a new life for herself. A life that was defined not by her disability, but by her dreams and her determination. A life that was full of colour, hope, and resilience. This was Muniba's first step in her journey as a professional artist, a journey that would take her to places she had never imagined. But more than that, it was a step towards fulfilling her dreams, towards living her life on her own terms, towards rising above her circumstances. It was a step towards becoming Muniba Mazari, the Iron Lady of Pakistan. While Muniba was finding her path as a professional artist, she was also facing battles that were not as visible as her physical disability. One of these battles was the dissolution of her marriage. The accident had put a significant strain on her relationship with her husband. There was the physical strain, of course, but there was also an emotional strain. The dynamics of their relationship had changed drastically, and it was difficult for both of them to adjust. Despite their efforts to make it work, the marriage ended in divorce. The divorce was another challenging period in Muniba's life. It brought with it a wave of emotions: sadness, fear, loneliness. It was another blow, another loss. But just like before, Muniba refused to let this setback break her. She was deeply hurt, but she used this pain as fuel to drive her forward. She used it as an inspiration to paint, creating beautiful pieces that expressed her grief, her healing process, and her journey towards finding peace and acceptance. The divorce was also a time of self-reflection for Muniba. She realized that she had been relying on others for her happiness and self-worth. She realized that she needed to find happiness within herself, to love herself, to value herself. This was a difficult but important lesson, and it was a turning point in Muniba's journey. She started to focus more on herself, on her needs and desires. She started to love herself more, to value herself more. She started to prioritize her happiness and well-being, and as she did this, she found that she was becoming stronger, happier, and more confident. The divorce was a painful experience, but it was also a learning experience. It was a time of growth and self-discovery. It was a time of healing and transformation. Muniba's personal battles were just as challenging as her physical battles, but she faced them with the same courage and determination. She used them as stepping stones to become stronger, more resilient, more self-reliant. This was Muniba's journey, a journey of rising above challenges, of turning pain into power, of turning setbacks into comebacks. A journey of becoming Muniba Mazari, the Iron Lady of Pakistan. As Muniba's art started to gain recognition, so did her story. People were inspired by her courage, her resilience, and her determination to pursue her dreams despite her circumstances. Her story touched hearts, and she began to receive invitations to share it at public events. Muniba's first public speaking event was a nerve-wracking experience. She was not used to being in the spotlight, and the thought of sharing her story with a large audience was daunting. But Muniba knew that she had a message to share, a message of hope, resilience, and the power of dreams. As she stood on the stage, wheelchair-bound, but with a spirit that was anything but confined, Muniba shared her journey. She spoke about the accident, about the pain and the struggle, about the dark days in the hospital. But she also spoke about her decision to live her life to the fullest, about her love for painting, about her dreams and aspirations. The audience was captivated. They were moved by her story, inspired by her courage, and touched by her vulnerability. Many were brought to tears, while others were motivated to face their own challenges with renewed determination. From that day forward, Muniba became a public figure, a beacon of hope for many. She started to receive more invitations to speak at events, both nationally and internationally. She shared her story with diverse audiences, from students and teachers to business leaders and policymakers. Her message was always the same: no matter what challenges you face, you have the power to overcome them and live your dreams. In addition to her speaking engagements, Muniba also used her platform to advocate for the rights of people with disabilities. She worked tirelessly to raise awareness about the challenges they face and to promote inclusivity and equality. Her advocacy work earned her a spot as the National Ambassador for UN Women Pakistan, further amplifying her voice and her impact. Muniba's journey in the public eye was not always easy. She faced criticism, scrutiny, and at times discrimination, but she didn't let this deter her. She remained focused on her mission, to inspire others, to use her story and her art to create change. Muniba's journey into the public eye was another chapter in her remarkable story, another testament to her resilience and determination. It was a journey of transforming pain into power, tragedy into triumph, and challenges into opportunities. It was the journey of Muniba Mazari, the Iron Lady of Pakistan. Chapter 4. The Iron Lady of Pakistan. As Muniba's visibility grew, so did her influence. She started to use her platform to advocate for issues that were close to her heart. One of these was women's rights. Muniba, who had experienced firsthand the societal pressures and constraints faced by many women in Pakistan, became a voice for women's empowerment and gender equality. From stages, television interviews, and social media, Muniba began to talk about the need for change. She spoke about the importance of education for girls, the need to challenge harmful cultural practices, and the value of women's participation in all areas of society. She emphasized that empowering women was not just a matter of justice, but also a key to societal progress. Muniba also focused on the need for women to believe in themselves. She encouraged women to pursue their dreams, to value their abilities, and to not let societal expectations limit their potential. She spoke about her own experiences, her own journey of self-belief and self-empowerment, in the hopes of inspiring others. Her advocacy for women's rights was not limited to words. Muniba also took action. She partnered with organizations that worked towards women's empowerment, lending her voice and her support to their initiatives. She also initiated projects of her own, using art as a tool to empower women and girls. One such project was an art therapy workshop for women survivors of violence. Muniba believed in the healing power of art, and she wanted to share this with others. Through these workshops, she not only provided a safe space for women to express their emotions and heal, but also a platform for them to discover their strengths and build their confidence. Muniba's advocacy work earned her recognition both locally and internationally. She was appointed as the National Ambassador for UN Women Pakistan, a role in which she worked tirelessly to promote gender equality and women's empowerment. Despite the challenges and criticism she faced, Muniba remained steadfast in her advocacy. She understood that change was not easy, that it required time, patience, and resilience. But she was determined to do her part, to use her voice and her platform to create a better world for women. This was the journey of Muniba Mazari, the Iron Lady of Pakistan, a journey of resilience, courage, and determination, a journey of using her voice to create change, of standing up for what she believed in, a journey of becoming a voice for women in Pakistan. The title Iron Lady is often given to women who showcase exceptional strength and resilience. It is a title that represents power, determination, and the ability to overcome adversity. This title is fitting for Muniba Mazari, and in this section, we explore why she has come to be known as the Iron Lady of Pakistan. After the car accident that left Muniba wheelchair-bound, she faced numerous challenges: physical pain and disability, emotional turmoil, societal pressures, and personal heartbreaks. However, through all of this, Muniba remained unbroken. She turned her pain into power, her adversity into opportunity, and her dreams into reality. She fought against all odds and emerged stronger and more resilient. Muniba's strength is not just physical, but also mental and emotional. She faced her fears, conquered her self-doubts, and rose above her circumstances. She refused to let her disability define her. Instead, she chose to define herself as a woman, an artist, an advocate, a dreamer. Muniba's resilience is also extraordinary. Despite the many setbacks she faced, she never gave up. She faced each challenge with courage and determination, and always found a way to keep moving forward. Even when she fell, she picked herself up, dusted herself off, and continued on her journey. But Muniba is not just an Iron Lady because of her strength and resilience. She is an Iron Lady because she used her struggles to empower others. She shared her story, not for sympathy, but to inspire others. She used her voice, not for personal gain, but to advocate for change. She used her art, not for fame, but to heal and uplift. Muniba's journey is a testament to the strength of the human spirit. It shows us that it is possible to turn pain into power, adversity into opportunity, dreams into reality. It shows us that it is not our circumstances that define us, but our actions and our attitudes. This is why Muniba Mazari is the Iron Lady of Pakistan. She embodies strength, resilience, courage, and determination. She is a symbol of hope, a beacon of inspiration, a testament to the power of dreams. She is the Iron Lady of Pakistan, an inspiration to us all. Muniba Mazari is not just a woman, an artist, an advocate. She is also a person with a disability. However, she has always refused to let her disability define her or limit her potential. Instead, she has used her platform to challenge stereotypes about people with disabilities and to promote inclusivity and equality. In Pakistan, like many other places around the world, there are many misconceptions and stereotypes about people with disabilities. They are often seen as dependent, helpless, or incapable. Muniba wanted to change these perceptions. She wanted to show the world that people with disabilities are just as capable, just as valuable, and just as deserving of respect and opportunities as anyone else. Muniba started by challenging these stereotypes in her own life. Despite her physical disability, she pursued her dreams. She became a successful artist, a public speaker, an advocate. She lived her life to the fullest, not in spite of her disability, but alongside it. She also used her voice to raise awareness about the challenges faced by people with disabilities. She spoke about the lack of accessibility, the discrimination, the exclusion, but she also spoke about the abilities, the talents, the potential. She shared her own story, her own achievements, as evidence that disability does not mean inability. In addition to raising awareness, Muniba also advocated for change. She called for more inclusive policies, more accessible facilities, more equal opportunities. She worked with organizations that support people with disabilities, lending her voice and her support to their cause. Muniba's efforts to break barriers did not stop at advocacy. She also took action. She used her art to challenge perceptions and to celebrate diversity. She hosted workshops for people with disabilities, providing them with an outlet for expression and a platform for empowerment. Muniba's work in breaking barriers has been transformative. She has not only changed perceptions, but also lives. She has inspired people with disabilities to believe in themselves, to pursue their dreams, to challenge the status quo. She has inspired society to be more inclusive, more accepting, more understanding. This is another reason why Muniba is known as the Iron Lady of Pakistan. She is not just strong and resilient, she is also a barrier breaker, a change maker, a trailblazer. She is an Iron Lady who uses her platform to break stereotypes, to promote equality, and to inspire change. This is the journey of Muniba Mazari, the Iron Lady of Pakistan. Chapter 5. Muniba's Canvas. Art has always been an integral part of Muniba's life. She started painting as a young girl, but it was during her recovery from the accident that art became more than just a hobby for her. It became a form of expression, a way to channel her emotions and experiences, a tool for healing and empowerment. Muniba's style of painting is as unique as her story. She uses bright, bold colours and strong, powerful strokes to create images that are both visually striking and deeply emotive. Each of her paintings is a reflection of her experiences, her emotions, her perspectives. They are windows into her world, her journey, her spirit. Muniba often paints women, depicting them in various roles and situations. These paintings are not just beautiful to look at, they are also deeply symbolic. They represent Muniba's advocacy for women's empowerment and gender equality. They reflect her belief in the strength and resilience of women, their capacity to overcome adversity, and their right to live their dreams. Muniba also uses her art to express her experiences as a person with a disability. She paints images of wheelchair-bound figures, not as symbols of helplessness or despair, but as symbols of strength, resilience, and independence. She uses her art to challenge stereotypes about disability, to celebrate diversity, and to promote inclusivity. In addition to painting, Muniba also uses her art to write poetry. Her poems are as expressive and emotive as her paintings. They convey her thoughts and feelings, her hopes and dreams, her struggles and triumphs. They are a testament to her resilience, her courage, and her determination. For Muniba, art is not just a form of expression, it is also a source of strength. It is a way for her to process her experiences, to make sense of her emotions, to find meaning in her journey. It is a way for her to heal, to grow, to empower herself. Muniba's art is not just beautiful to look at, it is also inspiring to understand. It is a testament to her journey, her resilience, her courage. It is a reflection of her spirit, her strength, her determination. It is a testament to Muniba Mazari, the Iron Lady of Pakistan. As Muniba's art began to touch more and more people, recognition for her work started to grow. Her paintings, filled with vibrant colours and powerful imagery, resonated deeply with many, both in Pakistan and beyond its borders. Locally, Muniba was celebrated as an inspirational figure and a talented artist. Her exhibitions attracted attention from art enthusiasts, critics, and everyday people alike. Her work was appreciated not only for its aesthetic appeal, but also for the powerful stories and messages it conveyed. One of her most recognized pieces is a self-portrait where she depicted herself with wings, symbolizing her freedom from societal constraints and her determination to soar high despite her physical disability. This painting was widely celebrated and has become an iconic representation of her spirit and resilience. Muniba's art also started gaining recognition internationally. Her paintings were exhibited in various countries, where they received positive reviews and high praise. People from different cultures and backgrounds were touched by her story and inspired by her talent. Her international fame led to her appointment as the first Pakistani artist to join the prestigious Forbes 30 Under 30 list, an annual list that recognizes 30 people under the age of 30 from 20 different industries. This was a significant achievement for Muniba, and it brought more attention to her work and her cause. In addition to her artistic recognition, Muniba's work as an advocate for women's rights and people with disabilities was also recognized. She was invited to speak at various international platforms, including the United Nations, where she shared her story and promoted her causes. Her art and advocacy work also earned her the title of one of BBC's 100 Inspirational Women, further cementing her status as a global icon. All this recognition and acclaim is a testament to Muniba's talent as an artist and her impact as an advocate. It shows the power of her art to touch people, to inspire change, and to make a difference. But more than the recognition and the acclaim, it is the positive impact of her work that Muniba values most. Her art has touched lives, her story has inspired people, and her advocacy has made a difference. And for Muniba, that is the greatest recognition of all. In the midst of her growing fame as an artist and an advocate, Muniba embarked on another venture, entrepreneurship. She established her own brand, aptly named Muniba's Canvas, to showcase and sell her artwork. This marked a new chapter in Muniba's journey, one that would see her not just as an artist, but also as a successful businesswoman. Muniba's Canvas started as a small operation, a platform to sell her paintings and connect with her audience. However, with her passion for art and her natural business acumen, it quickly grew into something much larger. Muniba worked diligently to turn her brand into a success. She was involved in every aspect of the business, from creating the artwork to marketing it, from managing finances to customer relations. Her dedication and hard work paid off, and Muniba's Canvas soon gained popularity, both in Pakistan and internationally. The brand became known not just for its beautiful artwork, but also for its mission. Muniba used her platform to promote positive messages and to support causes close to her heart. A portion of the proceeds from her sales went to various charities, including those supporting people with disabilities and promoting women's empowerment. Muniba's Canvas was not just a business for Muniba, it was a platform to make a difference. It was a way for her to use her talent and her voice to inspire change and to give back to her community. It was a way for her to turn her passion into a purpose. Muniba's journey into entrepreneurship was not always easy. Like any business, there were challenges and setbacks. But just like in every other aspect of her life, Muniba faced these challenges with resilience and determination. She learned from her mistakes, adapted to changes, and never lost sight of her vision. Today, Muniba's Canvas is more than just a brand. It is a symbol of Muniba's journey, her resilience, her determination. It is a testament to her talent as an artist, her vision as a businesswoman, and her impact as an advocate. It is a reflection of Muniba Mazari, the Iron Lady of Pakistan. Chapter 6. Legacy and Inspiration. As Muniba's story spread, her voice gained more and more attention. People were drawn not only to her beautiful art, but also to her powerful words. Eventually, this led Muniba to another role, that of a motivational speaker. She started sharing her story on various platforms, touching countless hearts and inspiring people around the world. From local schools and universities to international conferences and platforms, Muniba shared her journey of resilience and determination. Her speeches were filled with raw emotion and honesty. They were stories of pain and struggle, but more importantly, they were stories of courage, hope, and triumph. Muniba spoke about her accident and the physical challenges she faced. She spoke about the emotional turmoil, the societal pressures, and the personal battles. But she also spoke about resilience, about finding hope in the darkest times, about turning adversity into opportunity. Her words resonated deeply with her audience. Many were moved by her story, inspired by her courage, and motivated by her positivity. Whether they were students facing academic pressures, professionals dealing with work stress, or individuals struggling with personal issues, Muniba's story offered them hope and courage. Muniba's speeches also focused on empowering women and advocating for people with disabilities. She spoke about gender inequality, about societal stereotypes, about the lack of accessibility. She called for change, for inclusivity, for respect and recognition of all individuals' rights and potentials. She was particularly passionate about inspiring young people. She believed in their potential to bring about change and often encouraged them to believe in themselves, to dream big, and to work hard towards their goals. Muniba's impact as a motivational speaker goes beyond the applause and the accolades. It's in the lives she's touched, the minds she's inspired, and the hearts she's moved. It's in the change she's brought about, the awareness she's raised, and the conversations she's started. This part of her journey is another testament to her legacy, her resilience, and her determination to make a difference. Muniba's journey, marked by resilience, courage, and determination, has been recognized and honored both nationally and internationally. Her contributions to art, advocacy, and motivational speaking have earned her numerous awards and accolades, each one highlighting a different facet of her multi-dimensional persona. In her home country, Pakistan, Muniba was honored with the Pride of Performance Award, a prestigious national award given in recognition of significant contributions in various fields. This award was a testament to Muniba's impactful work in art and advocacy, and her role as an inspirational figure in the country. Muniba's influence, however, extends far beyond Pakistan's borders. Her art, her story, and her advocacy have inspired people worldwide, earning her international recognition. She was named one of BBC's 100 Most Inspirational Women, a significant honour that acknowledges influential women around the globe. In addition, Muniba was also recognised by Forbes, who included her in their 30 Under 30 Asia list. This annual list highlights 30 influential people under the age of 30 in various fields across Asia. Being included in this list was a testament not only to Muniba's impact, but also to her potential for future influence. Muniba's work as an advocate for people with disabilities also led to her appointment as the National Ambassador for UN Women Pakistan. In this role, Muniba was recognized for her efforts in promoting gender equality and women's empowerment. Furthermore, her impactful motivational speeches and her inspiring personal story led to her being named a Young Leader by the World Economic Forum. This title is given to individuals who are making significant contributions to society and are shaping the future through their innovative thinking and leadership. While these recognitions and honours are significant, they are merely symbols of Muniba's real achievements, the lives she's touched, the minds she's inspired, the barriers she's broken. For Muniba, the true recognition comes in the form of the positive change she has been able to bring about, the conversations she has started, and the hope and courage she has instilled in people around the world. Her legacy is one of inspiration, resilience, and relentless determination to make a difference. Muniba Mazari's life story is a powerful narrative that embodies hope, resilience, and positivity. Overcoming tremendous obstacles and challenges, she has emerged as an iconic figure inspiring countless individuals across the globe. The core of her message revolves around the indomitable strength of the human spirit, the ability to remain positive in the face of adversity, and the importance of nurturing hope in our hearts. Muniba's words are drawn from her own experiences and struggles, yet they resonate deeply with anyone facing challenges, big or small. She encourages us to understand that it's not the hurdles we face, but how we choose to navigate them that defines us. Life will inevitably present us with difficulties, but it's our response to these challenges, our resilience, that truly shapes our path. One of Muniba's most powerful assertions is her belief in the transformative power of hope. She firmly believes that maintaining a hopeful outlook can help us overcome the most daunting of obstacles. Even in her darkest hours, it was hope that lit her path and guided her forward. Her journey is a living testament to the power of hope, serving as an inspiration for those who feel lost or defeated by their circumstances. Moreover, Muniba emphasizes the importance of cultivating positivity. She believes that a positive mindset can fundamentally change how we perceive and interact with the world around us. By choosing to focus on the positives, we can transform our experiences, turning challenges into opportunities for growth and self-discovery. Self-acceptance and self-love are also central to Muniba's message. She encourages us to embrace our flaws and imperfections, to acknowledge our unique journeys, and to love ourselves unconditionally. This process of self-acceptance, she believes, is crucial for personal growth and empowerment. Finally, Muniba's message extends beyond personal resilience and growth. She consistently advocates for collective action towards a more inclusive and equitable society. Her work as a UN ambassador and her various speaking engagements underscore her commitment to breaking down barriers and stereotypes, promoting equal rights and opportunities for all, regardless of gender, ability, or background. In essence, Muniba's message is a beacon of hope, resilience, and positivity. It is a powerful call to action for individual empowerment and collective responsibility. Her story, her work, and her words continue to inspire and motivate, leaving a lasting impact on the world and shaping her enduring legacy.